Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, Stephanie, I was about to call her Stephanie. Stephanie and Jada kind of put the clues together and realized that most likely that that Everett is that Bobby is pretending to be Everett. And then they started coming up with these theories about how um, maybe he was the one that took out Rafe. Stephanie was sitting there saying that, he just got out the shower. Jada was sitting there talking about how he was reading some sort of mystery murder novel. Which at that point I was like, well, if you're gonna, I'm like, if you're gonna sit there and put it getting out the shower and reading a murder mystery, then you could just go to your local Barnes and Nobles and sit there and pick out any suspect. Um, but here's the thing that just really blows me about this whole conversation. Okay, because towards the end, I think she was like, I want to sit there and try to bring it in for questioning. I don't know how you're going to do that, but whatever. But she's like, Jada's like, make sure you don't sit there and tell nobody. I don't want him to be tipped off before we have anything on him. I'm like, okay, so you don't want him to be tipped off, but you're going to have this, should be a secret conversation, just in broad daylight when anyone can overhear. And of course, it's nasty ass Connie. And I call her nasty ass Connie, and for a reason. I think y'all know why. Um, so Gabby catches Connie in the room, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And at first, she was all like, "Oh well, I just want to make sure, and I'm just hoping that he gets better. He seems like such a good guy, and yada yada yada." Gabby ain't buying it. So then she's like, oh, well, okay, I really came here because I want to sit there and see you because I sent my resume in and you didn't get back to it. So I figure, you might be busy, so let me just give you an actual hard copy. And at this point, Gabby's like, oh, you're a stalker. No, 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 no. She's like, I don't have time. I don't have patience for this. You need to sit there and get to stepping. And Connie's like, no, I can't do that. I actually told you, she was like, no. And Gabby's like, oh, okay, cool. So I'll just call security. Connie's all like, no, I'm doing this for you. I can get you some coffee. You can sit there and rest. You're trying to open up Gabby Chic again. You can't be doing that and doing this at the same time and running ragged and stuff. So I really want to be your assistant. I even work for free at this point. And she just kept going and going and going. And on some level, Gabby was like, she was right. I can't sit there and be here 24/7 and trying to run Gabby Chic. So she was like, you can give me a coffee. And the way she said it, she said very snappy, almost kind of like talking down to someone. So Connie went to go get it. And, she's all like, oh, I'm going to make her pay for what she did to Leishan and blah, blah, blah. Then she spit in her coffee. There's certain pet peeves in this world that will just be like, you nasty ass, and that is one of them. I was already not feeling sorry for this chick because, honestly, to tell you the truth, you just came across as a loser. Now you just came across as a nasty loser, and that's just unforgivable. Um, and so she came back into the room, handing it back to Gabby. I'm like, nasty ass. And Gabby was looking at her resume and some of the ideas that she had, and she was like, wow, these are actually pretty good. And part of me was hoping when she was giving all these compliments and stuff that she would probably, I don't know, knock the cup out of her hand or whatever and realize how gross and disgusting that was. Um, but she didn't do that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she just drank some coffee that, let's just move on to the next scene. Okay, so after Paulina and Abe were talking, what was she talking about? I don't know what she was talking about. They had a conversation that didn't really sound like it went anywhere. Kate Kate came by. I was about to call Katie. Kate came by, and Kate. This is what happens when you watch all four soap operas. Kate was like, good news. They're on board and everything like that. As far as we got the rights and everything like that, so we can start doing this. But the three main characters can't do it. And Abe was like, without those three main characters, we don't really have a show. And then he was like, maybe we could sit there and just recast. Which, as y'all know, it could go horribly left at times if it's not done right, or even if when it is done, people just don't take to it. But in case like that's not even a big concern. We got to get writers. We got to start hiring cast and stuff like that. We got to get like food and stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it. We can't just do it like just right there. They got to get a casting director. They got to get a director. Like it's a whole thing that's going on with that. Now Paulina went there for a checkup, and Kayla was like, "Yeah, you have high cholesterol, so you got to sit there and take medication." Now, first, Paulina was like, "No, I don't want to sit there and do it. I'm just not going to do it." And then it was just more of the fact that it's like more medication. It just feels kind of depressing. But then she realized that she was complaining, and she literally had an angel that just snapped away her goddamn cancer. So at that point, she was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't really be complaining. Now, Bobby is just. I don't know if they're just trying to move this thing along really fast because Bobby has just been acting so goddamn sloppy like there's been no tomorrow. So he apologized to Kate for snapping at her. But then he follows up with another rude comment about Stephanie talking about, oh well, I'm going through a lot. I don't have time to really sit there and kind of baby her feelings and everything like that. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm doing it again. And again, Connie's whole plan is to make sure that Bobby does his part. And I'm not sure, but it's possible that Connie overheard Jada Smith is saying, yeah, we got to make sure that we don't tip him off, that we're on to Bobby, acting like Everett. Which, by the way, he does want to go into Marlena's place. I mean, Marlena's office. He gets in there and he's like, all right, so how long we going to sit there and do the session for? Because, I got things to do or whatever, and this, that, and the third. Like, I don't really have a lot of time. Marlena was like, you do realize that when you got out, like, you did literally sit there and say you was going to take this therapy session seriously. So I was like, all right, you're right. He's like, I want you to hypnotize me. So Marlena hypnotizes him. He brings up traumatic memory of his dad hitting him and asking his mom, why didn't you protect me? Why did you let him do that? Then he starts crying and everything. Um, really bad fake crying. Marlena snaps him out, and he's all like, oh, okay. I just got to ruin my problem. I don't need Bobby anymore. Yeah. And even before that, he was like, even before the whole hypnotizing thing started, he was like, he broke up with Stephanie. And Marlena was like, that's kind of weird because, like, you were, like, totally into her and everything like that, and you really want to get back to her, and now you just broke up with her out of nowhere? Like, he did sit there and say it was because of his mental health, but it just struck that as kind of off. Then after the hypnotizing sessions, he was pretty much like, okay, I'm all free and everything like that. I'm good. I don't have any more trauma, and I had a breakthrough. So I'm glad that you did this. You're pretty much a godsend. So he leaves. Kayla comes in, and Kayla's like, I had a really off-putting conversation with Everett, and Marlena practically was like, I talked to him today, and he had a breakthrough, but it seemed like it was a really fast one, like really unbelievable. And it's making me wonder, did I make a mistake as far as, checking him out of Bayview too soon? So between Kayla, Marlena, Steph, and Jada, he's going to get found out. Hell, actually, tell you the truth, those two, the last two I just mentioned, already have an idea that Bobby's just pretending to be Everett. So it's only a matter of time before everybody else figures that out. Um, so hopefully they can start to wrap up this thing somewhat soon. I was cool with Connie. I mean, I didn't really like it, but I was like, I'll deal with it up until her spitting in that woman's cup. That was just disgusting. There's a scene with Gabby and Rafe. It's just pretty much her, hoping that he's going to get better and, not feeling like she gave him the amount of attention as far as like asking about how he's doing and everything that's going on with him. She was just being very self-absorbed. Um, that was pretty much about it for that. I'm very interested. Like I said, I'm very interested in this whole how they're going to do this body and soul, because Abe is like, I got some few ideas as far as recasting. I'm like, what are they going to do? They're going to get Kayla on her off time to sit there and play a character, and Paulina to play a character, and Kate to play a character. And she's like, I'm already a producer. I mean, hell, from what I understood, Ben Affleck was going to sit there and write, direct, and practically everything else for the movie. So at one point, so it's possible that she can do it. I had a thought, and I just sit there and say this yesterday. There was a point where Paulina was like, I need a new commissioner right now. I need an intern commissioner. And she was like, well, I can do Jada, but Jada may be too busy hanging out and be with Rafe, but she may also be more motivated to sit there and cast the person who did it. And I'm just like, wasn't Abe commissioner at one point? Isn't it possible that you could just sit there and just put him on intern? I mean, I know that he's doing this whole soap thing and everything, but yeah, I guess he can't do it. I'm just surprised she didn't at least mention it, but I guess it makes sense because he does have another project that's going on. There's a quick scene with Gabby and Paulina is just like, we're going to catch the person who did it, um, which hopefully won't be like months and months and months before they realize Connie did it. Um, I feel like that's about it. Like I said, there was a conversation with, I feel like there might have been a conversation with Abe and Paulina. I don't remember if it actually went anywhere. Or maybe I'm thinking of yesterday's episode. But either way, if I forgot it, write it in the comment section. I will talk about it tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, along with General Hospital, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. I will see you in the next video.